the first family took off for Havana aboard Air Force One around 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Mr. Obama is the first sitting U.S. president to visit Cuba in nearly 90 years. This trip, the culmination of a diplomatic opening announced by Mr. Obama and Cuban President Raul Castro back in December of 2014. Here with me now is CBS News foreign affairs analyst Pamela Falk. Thank you so much for being with us. And CBS News producer Portia Siegelbaum joins us on the phone, also from Havana. We want to stick with this picture for just a second as we're watching Air Force One just moments away from landing. But Pamela, with me right now in studio, this is really symbolic of change.
Absolutely. It's a game changer. It's certainly a scene setter and a milestone in the sense that no sitting president since Calvin Coolidge has been there. It is the way that this administration is trying to show that it will do whatever it can before it leaves office to begin the engagement process and to try to make it irreversible, is what they say, so that the relations and engagement has begun.
So here it is. You see wheels down. Right now, we have that front wheel needing to come down until it's official right there. But President Obama has landed now in Cuba, in Havana. He has a number of people traveling with him, not only the First Lady and both of his daughters, but a number of senators, representatives, and business leaders as well at Jose Marti Airport there in Havana, Cuba. These are live pictures right now. You can see the plane has officially landed on Cuban soil. The first time in 88 years, almost 90 years since a U.S. president has been to the island nation of Cuba. And I want to go on the phone right now to Portia Siegelbaum. You are in Cuba. Can you describe what it's been like there leading up to this moment? I know there's been a lot of fanfare there in Cuba.
Well, there certainly has been. People are very excited in general, and they've been that way ever since the reestablishment of relations, believing that it's going to mean better times for them, particularly economically. And there's been a lot of street repairs going on, more than almost anything. They've been paving roads and streets. Cuba may have been the pothole capital of the world until this trip was announced. So we've been watching them road repair gangs out, fixing the streets, painting the street directional signs, doing some painting of buildings, and generally prepping the city for the visit. But people that you're speaking to individually, they can hardly believe it. I mean, it's something most people say they didn't expect to see in their lifetime.
That's Portia. I have to ask you, though, on the flip side of that, I've read a number of blogs that said that there are others within Cuba who are highly suspicious, thinking that, joking rather, that the Marines would quietly sneak in behind Air Force One, or that there could be still some tension there. Can you describe kind of what it's like on both sides?
Well, there really is, there's concern about in certain sectors of society and among Cuban economists about how, once you reestablish relations, as they put it to me, do you prevent U.S. business from swallowing the Cuban economy? Because even though they have economic relations with a lot of European countries and with Canada, the U.S. is so close. U.S. products are so popular. The quality, transportation is cheaper. There are people who fear there'll be a cultural and economic takeover that just slides in, and they'll lose what they call their Cubanía, what makes them Cuban. So there is that concern definitely on the ground.
Are we seeing that a little bit even today? Starwood, the hotel company here in the United States, signing that deal, the first hotel chain with Cuba since 1959.
Well, and they really need it, because what they've discovered is ever since President Obama has relaxed, and he just relaxed them further, the travel rules for Cuba, for us to come to visit Cuba, their hotels are overwhelmed. They're not prepared either in the standards, in the service, or the number of rooms to handle the large numbers of Americans that are coming down to visit the island on people-to-people, religious, or humanitarian trips. So they need desperately someone to pop up. Now, there are foreign hotel chains here. The Spaniards co-manage Cuban hotels, and they're among the best on the island. But they really need that input from the United States, and they're accepting a deal with Starwoods indicates that they're aware of that.
That's I want to just point out too. This is a 3-day trip. I want to kind of go over some of the different things that President Obama will be doing while he's in town. You can see that all the media is lined up there, ready for the president to come off Air Force One. Once he does that, he is going to meet and take a historic walk through Havana near the Catholic Church there, and meet with a cardinal as well. And really, the Catholic Church has played kind of a key role in bringing the two countries together. Back in December of 2014. On Monday, he will then meet with Raul Castro and then also meet with people within the private sector in Cuba. On Tuesday, he will give a historic speech in Havana, and that will air on television there, on state television, where he will likely advocate for human rights on the island despite this new policy of dialogue. As well, on Tuesday, he will attend that baseball game. Cuban Nationals will play the Tampa Bay Rays. It's an exhibition game, but it's seen as something that could bring the two countries together, the love of baseball between the two countries. Now, Pamela, I want to talk to you a little bit. Within the agenda that has been set out, he's going to meet with Raul Castro on Monday, but there is no sign that Fidel is anywhere within the plans of meeting. There's been some
That's
talk.
That's a little conspicuous in the sense that other world leaders have met with him. But he is turning 90 in August, and it may be a question of health. And really, if he meets